Welcome back. This is part 2 of episode
6.
Is it 6?
I'm pretty sure we're on episode 6.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of episode 6 of Elantris. We finished up Raoden's chapter and the What Did He Say segment, and we're hopping into Sereni's chapter.
Right into Sereni's chapter.
Right into Sereni's chapter?
I think Did you have anything else to address? Right into Sereni's chapter it is. Okay. Once again, the Aeon at the top is Aeon Ate. Grace, smoothness. That's all I have to say there. We've covered that Aeon sufficiently, I feel like.
Yep, I didn't look for it at all this time.
Oh.
I didn't look for it in the chapter.
Oh, you didn't look for grace and smoothness.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So
You're improving. Good job. He's growing, guys.
I guess
he can be taught.
I guess just like into it. Just jump into the chapter.
Into the chapter.
So Sereni strides into the dance hall. And she's carrying a big, long, black bag on her shoulder.
So are we just reading the book now? Is that what this podcast has turned into? Is we're just gonna like verbatim just read the whole book? Is that okay? Sereni's entering the hall, the dance hall. She's got this big black bag. She's finally meeting with the women.
There were several gasps from the women inside. Says right here. Okay, I'll stop. Sorry. They gasp not because of the big black bag.
No.
But because of her clothing.
And she's confused. It says, "What?" she asked.
She's confused. She's not used to this reaction to her in her exercise attire.
Garb, if you will.
Jumper. Maybe.
Nope.
It is a gray jumpsuit.
Okay.
I think they call those jumpers in
That's great.
in the UK.
We're not gonna.
Our UK listeners will love me for that.
I'm pretty sure they call like sweatshirts and hoodies jumpers.
Oh.
I don't think a jumpsuit is a jumper.
Oh.
So I could be completely wrong on that. We do have listeners in the UK, so you guys are.
Let us know.
Feel free to correct the dumb Americans.
All right, lock in.
It's your clothing, dear, Deora finally answered. These women aren't accustomed to such things.
It looks like men's clothing. Ciaden explained. Her double chin jiggling indignantly.
Okay, that right there is the reason we can't read everything verbatim.
People are going to start this episode and get so annoyed of us so quickly.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We'll get back into things.
We've just been having a great time.
So she strides in. She's got this long black bag. She's wearing this gray jumpsuit, and everybody like gasps because she's wearing pants.
Yeah.
She's not in a dress.
Yeah.
And to Sereni, that's just a non-issue because they're about to exercise. They're about to be fencing.
Yeah.
And so she says, like, you didn't really expect us to fight in dresses, did you? However, after looking at everybody's faces when she says that comment,
they did.
That's exactly
what they expected. And then she realizes that her cousin Lukel's also in the dance hall,
which I love.
I love that too.
That Lukel.
He says a line that's so good. He says, I fully expect this to be the most entertaining experience of the week. I wouldn't miss it for all the gold in Wern's coffers.
Yeah. Which is great.
Not lots of like entertainment options in Arelon, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Which, understandable for a economy on brink of collapse.
Yeah. I mean, they have balls, I guess.
They do.
Yeah. So Luco also brought the twins.
Yes.
That aren't twins.
The twins that aren't twins.
So K-Ice, sorry, and Dayorn, Lukel's younger half siblings. We came to a revelation, or you came to a revelation about K-Ice.
About K-Ice.
Yeah. And we have not pointed out this connection, which is like the whole point of this podcast is to point out all the Cosmere connections. K-Ice eventually becomes a world hopper.
Yes.
She eventually joins the Ghost Bloods,
Mm-hmm.
and we see her on Scadrial
Yes.
in the Lost Metal
Mm-hmm.
as code names are dumb.
Code names are stupid.
Code names are stupid. Great code name, by the way.
Yes.
Um,
Her code name is Code Names Are Stupid. Everybody just calls her code names.
yes.
And that is K-Ice. So if you didn't know that when you were reading the Lost Metal, code names is K-Ice from Elantris. I'm assuming we're going to get more of that story in Elantris book 2 of like her transition, because we know it's going to focus a lot on Kian's children as POV characters. So I'm assuming we're going to see how she got from point A to Scadrial.
Because Elantris happens before Mistborn Era 1. I'm decently sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Which means K-Ice I don't think we'll see her become a Ghostblood just because the Ghostbloods aren't a thing yet.
Right.
Which means K-Ice becomes a world hopper probably before she becomes Ghostblood, and also lives long enough to become a Ghostblood.
Yeah, there's something about world hoppers that like they're just living, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because we know you have to be sufficiently invested to prolong your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's the 5th heightening that provides extended life.
Yes.
And so anything that will get you to the point of the 5th heightening will extend your 5th life. We know that the returned are like they have one divine breath that takes them all the way to the 5th heightening.
Yep.
And then we know that Elantrians are more invested than returned.
Yep.
And so obviously they're ageless as well. But besides, being a returned and an Elantrian or a cognitive shadow, there's not a lot of things out there other than just accumulating the breath, that we've seen.
Yeah, accumulating the enough investiture to quote unquote reach the 5th heightening.
Yeah.
AUB. Is it AUB?
AUB?
The units. Breath units.
BEU.
BEU.
Breath equivalency unit.
Yeah. So you have to get that much investiture or be a creature that is just that invested, like a dragon.
Like a dragon. Yeah.
So how she does that? Like, first thing would be like maybe she becomes an Elantrian.
Yeah.
But you feel like that would be a bigger plot point in the Lost Metal of her being an Elantrian.
Yeah, it doesn't in the Lost Metal. It doesn't seem like she's an Elantrian.
And barely seems like she's invested.
Yeah,
honestly.
And there's the whole thing about Shai, like Wan Shai Lu in the Lost Metal, stamping herself to become an Elantrian to turn the tides. And if they had Codename sitting there who's already an Elantrian, feels unnecessary. So I don't feel like K-Ice is an Elantrian.
No, I just don't know how she does. Like, Brandon has some answers,
some questions to answer. Yeah.
Yes. He's going to have to provide some answers. Anyways, that was kind of a side Cosmere tangent, but every time we now see K-Ice on screen as this annoying little girl, like I'm only going to be able to think like she becomes pretty important.
Yeah.
So, K-Ice declares that she is also there. She's like, me too. I'm here. She pushed her way past Sereni and scuttled toward the chairs.
Lukel apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry. I was stuck with them. And Aora is like, hey, be nice to your siblings. Like,
Yep. Because Aora is there. Every woman from the embroidery circle showed up.
Right.
To learn how to fence from Sereni. She starts off just introducing them to the sword, which is a sire. Syri.
Pretty sure.
Sure. Syri, it's also known as a Khmer or a Jediver.
Jediver?
Jediver,
I think.
Sure.
Just depending on what your country you're in.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Jediver is the name for it in Jador.
I would assume so.
Just based on the syntax.
Which is where the sword comes from. Jayador created them. They were meant for, scouts, light weapons. But they fell out of use pretty much.
Yeah. But after the scouts stopped using them, the Jayadorian nobility started using them.
Yeah.
Just because, they were favored for their grace and delicacy.
Yeah.
And duels are pretty common in Jayador. And
Yeah.
so they started using the Sairi or the Jediver as their weapon of choice for dueling.
I got a blue line here.
Oh, do you?
Do you have one?
No.
So, Serenia is kind of like showing off how to use this sword. And she goes, she punctuated her sentences with a few thrusts and swipes. Mostly moves she would never use in a real fight, but ones that looked good nonetheless. And I blue lined it because this is very similar to Kaladin's practice kata.
Okay.
When they're down in the chasms in Way of Kings, he picks up the spear and he does a practice kata, which is basically just like a warm-up. Like a lot of fancy moves that look good, but that like aren't usable in a fight.
Yeah.
So similarities there.
Which is funny because I also have a blue line in this chapter for the kata, but not there.
Wow. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Perfect.
After the Jayadorians, the doulas kind of adopted the Sairi as well, and they turned it into a sport.
Yep. Yeah.
And it says, the doulas were the first ones to turn fencing into a sport rather than a means of killing the man who had decided to woo the same woman as yourself, which I thought was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. So Sereni whips out a second blade and she tosses it to Tarina, who caught it. Good reflexes.
Telri's daughter.
Yes. Is it Telri's or Aha's?
I'm pretty sure it's Telri and Theoden's daughter, or is Theoden married to Ahane?
I think it's Ahane's daughter.
Okay,
if I'm remembering,
I think you're right.
And Serena's just like, defend yourself, and starts attacking her,
which is a crazy way to start off. Like,
yes,
brought all of these women here to teach them, fencing, and just toss a sword to one and just like go at her.
So obviously, Tarina is just like swiping wildly. She doesn't know what she's doing. And then Sereni stabs her.
Yeah.
Not really stabbing because it's dulled or whatever. And she's like, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then she does a little coaching.
Yeah. I would have done a little bit of coaching first.
Maybe.
I feel like it's a little disheartening. I mean, I can understand the like show of like, hey, I actually do know what I'm talking about and you should listen to me, and there's that, but I don't know.
Also, Sereni's not a teacher.
She's not.
She's never done this.
Yeah.
So she can do whatever she wants. So she teaches them a little, and then she goes on to talk about how like it was difficult work. Like she's never done it. So she said like she considered herself a decent fencer, but had never occurred to her that having knowledge was entirely different from explaining that knowledge to others. And I wrote, same.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. Like, when we first started the pod, it was hard.
Yeah.
To, like, remember everything. It's still hard. We get so much stuff wrong all the time.
Yeah, apologies for that, because we do. Like, even in part 1 of this episode, we're talking about the Nile bond, and why auxiliary
isn't a Deadeye.
We did a little bit of research in between the two, and
we actually got a comment on the first part, basically cueing us in that High Spren can't become Deadeye.
Yeah, High Spren, and this is, and the thing is, it's all explained in Wind and Truth.
Yes,
and that's like the frustrating thing.
Like we should know it.
Yeah, we should know it because we've read it, and like, but it's just Cosmere's big. And there's a lot of knowledge. Yeah, and I've only read Wind and Truth once, and I skimmed. Like I didn't skim through it.
No,
I read it all, but like I was speeding through it.
I wanted to know what happened.
Exactly, I needed the ending.
Dude, day 1 through 9, Like a blur. Day 10, still a blur, but it was a blur that I wanted to know.
Yeah. So what it is High Spren distance themselves even like in their bonds. Like
Okay.
still gives herself, to the bond.
Yes.
And High Spren just don't. They're not as much of a companion to the people that they bond. They're more reserved. They're more held back.
They like to go by numbers rather than names.
Yeah.
Like,
and so because of that, and also High Spren take oaths themselves.
yes.
They're not just, it's not just a Knight Radiant taking an oath. The High Spren themselves are taking oath. All of that combines so that they're not tied so closely to their Radiant that if they break their vow or their oaths, that they become a Deadeye. So even after the 5th ideal, if the Knight Radiant breaks their oaths, the High Spren still won't become a Deadeye.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, do you think that's better or worse?
Because I was thinking about it, like, why don't all the Spren do that? But then you think about like Sylphrena and Kaladin's relationship.
Yeah, and like the trust they have.
Cal would be dead.
Yeah,
like if Sylphrena acted in the same way that a High Spren did, Cal would have tossed himself into a chasm.
Yep.
So I think there's
ups and downs.
I think there's degrees. I don't know that I can say that the High Spren way is better. I know that, objectively standing away and looking at it, it probably looks better because I don't think that there is a High Spren Deadeye.
Yeah.
And there's Deadeyes of every other order.
You would almost think, maybe I'm biased because of pattern, but like cryptics almost act that way. Like I don't really see pattern and Shalon being all like super buddy.
Yeah.
Like I guess they would be like kind of in between a High Spren and an Honor Spren.
Yeah, and I think there's just like that's their nature, It's not because they're like, reserving themselves. Like he was there to gain information and knowledge,
Yeah.
He is a scientist, I guess. That's not the right word, but like a
pioneer.
Yeah, that's not the right word either.
I don't know
what's student's not the right word either. What word am I looking for, Jake?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
What Yasna and Shalon both consider themselves.
Scholars?
Scholar. Thank you. That's the word. He's a scholar.
Yeah.
And so their bond works because that's also the type of people that they, come to.
Yeah. Anyways.
So
we learned.
We did learn.
And now you know too.
And we want to say thank you to...
what's her name?
Jessalyn Lankford for pointing that out to us.
In the comment.
Yeah, so we didn't record part 1 and part 2 of this back to back.
No, I had other things that I had to do, so our recording time was short.
Yeah.
So we only recorded part 1, but it's only been like 2 days.
Yeah, but we already got that comment on part 1, so we have more knowledge in part 2 than we had in part 1.
Our recording schedule's pretty messed up, guys. Yeah. But that's okay. And Jax is going out of town, so we had to record this one quick.
I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'll be gone for like 5 days, so.
Yep. So if you follow the TikTok, you're going to see a lot more of me.
Well, they already see a lot more of you than they do of me anyway. So.
This is true. Let's move on.
Okay. So Lukel, can see that she's exhausted, and he just says, "Exhausting work, cousin?" And Serenia's like, "You have no idea." And she's like, "Are you sure you don't want to give it a try?" Like inviting Lukel to come teach these people fencing when Lukel knows nothing about fencing. Like,
yeah, I think she was trying to say like,
"Oh, you're probably right.
Give it a try. Like, do you want me to teach you how to fence?" But I love Lukel's. What he says here, he says, "I may be flamboyant at times, cousin, but I'm not stupid."
And then he says, this I thought was interesting. King Iadon would blacklist any man who took part in such a supposedly demeaning activity.
Yeah.
Being on the king's bad side is fine if you happen to be Eondel, which I love, like, just the call out for Eondel, because Eondel is one of the only nobles who carries a sword.
Yeah, he's also one of the only nobles who forced King Iadon to. Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of Shuden.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Eondel runs the Legion.
Yes, he has the personal army.
Yeah, and he rents out his army to the crown.
Yeah.
And so he's getting, income from the kingdom, but it's still his army. So like he can afford to be on King Iadon's bad side because he supplies his entire army basically.
Yeah, Sereni goes on basically saying like, I don't think I taught them very well. Miguel's like, well, better than I could have.
And then lovely old K-Ice comes in and she's like, I could have done better. Just sitting here like, what? Like, what a teenager, Like,
yeah. I don't even think she's a teenager yet.
I don't know. What is she, 12?
Yeah, something like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I'm so like upset that I didn't see it was K-Ice as code names.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, she matured. Like, we don't see this in code names.
Yeah. We do see, I think, in code names, the ability to learn languages.
Yes, that is like the one connecting thing. They should also, I think code names is the one that brings the Sion. So you could have been like, oh, maybe she's from Cell.
Okay. Yeah.
But other than that.
But yeah, she doesn't use like the coins with the connection that the Southern Scadrians provide to speak the language.
Yeah.
She thinks that's cheating. She just learns the language of the land, which
I should have noticed. It's so funny because I read that chapter and the very same day you texted me and was like, have you met Codenames? Like, have you reread Codenames chapter? And I was like, it was that day. I was like, yeah. And you were like, do you know who it is? And I was like, no. I missed a world hopper. Well, obviously world hopper, but like I missed someone I've already met. And so then I went onto the Coppermind, of course, and looked it up. But they're so subtle.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yes.
Like I will not be surprised if we miss world hoppers like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there are some really subtle ones out there. I did some research on world hoppers, and for those of you who've read Warbreaker, when Vivenna goes to tell her, she brings she brings Parlin with her. They're going to meet the
spy.
I'm trying to remember his name, but it's the leader of like the King of Idris's spy network into Teller.
Yes.
And she goes to meet him. He doesn't show up. Denth and Tongfa show up, and then they take her to him. And there's a nurse there, and she's like trying to help, and then she realizes he's gonna die. She dismisses the nurse. That's all we see of that nurse. That nurse is a world hopper.
Yeah.
That nurse is a
Terrace
woman. Yeah. So like there's just some of them that I'm just like, oh, that's
here's
so
the thing.
Crazy.
I read that chapter today.
Yeah.
You told me about the nurse a few days ago. Forgot. Read the chapter. Nothing could have like cued me on that.
Really?
There wasn't any description. Like, how do we know? I think we only know
by Brandon.
Yeah, I think we only know from a Words of Brandon.
Yeah,
maybe. But who would have guessed to ask that?
Yeah, like because Brandon had said that there's like another terrorist world hopper, and so, but I don't know who freaking picked that out of the crowd, and I was like, it's this one, huh?
I was like, is it the nurse that was taking care of the spy leader on Nalthis? Brandon's like, yes, it's that one. Maybe I need to like go back and reread that, reread that,
knowing.
No, like
also,
looking for.
Also, you read that chapter today?
Yes.
And you don't know his name?
You're saying that like you're surprised. We're never gonna get through these chapters.
No. All right. So Ki says, I could have done better. And Liu Kel's like, oh, really? And Ki is like, of course. She didn't teach them anything about reposting or proper form, and she didn't even bother with tournament rules. And I'm sitting here like, this is like the perfect like preteen response. Because what she did is she went and read a book
Uh-huh.
and has all of this knowledge and all of this like just book knowledge
Yeah.
of this. And she's like, she didn't even teach him tournament rules. And I'm like, it's not where you start.
No, I think
They have no need for tournament rules. They don't know how to hold the sword.
yeah. I think she just like threw up the table of contents at them right there.
Yeah.
Like she didn't teach them about chapter 1, 2, or 3, you know. That's how it feels to me. But
Lemix.
By
the way.
whole
It's been my brain was still working on that. Lemix is the name of the leader of the spy network.
I can't see. Here's how
I
bad.
read that chapter today.
Here's how bad my brain is. You said Lemix, and I was like, "Who's Lemix?" Anyways,
Anyway.
they talk about how like K-Ice can read a book in like a few hours,
Yeah.
and that her language learning ability is unreal. Obviously, like, and yeah, I think we should like speed through because none of this is that important.
I don't have much. No. However, Eondel and Shuden were like watching from the doorway. The ladies, or no, Sereni noticed, and so they came in.
Yep.
And when they came in, all the ladies like, it's Shuden, you know?
Yeah. Not Eondel. Eondel's just a crusty old rag for the women. None of them like Eondel until he actually starts like teaching them proper ways.
Goes in and starts adjusting people's grip and their form, and Sereni's just like, oh, thank goodness, you know, like
yeah,
takes a breath off.
And Sereni's kind of like, how do you know how to fence? You know, military man, Erelon, how do you know how to fence? And he's like, well, it interests me, and also the doulas refuse to recognize a man's fighting ability unless he can fence.
Mm-hmm.
So Eondel's traveled a bit.
Yeah. Yep. And then Sereni is like, well, you wanna practice?
You want to practice a little spar?
And he says, I don't think it would be proper. And here's some of Sereni's impetuousness.
That's a word. Good word.
Thank you. And she doesn't think through fully like everything that she's doing here. And so she's like, nonsense, defend yourself. And she tosses him a sword. Did she toss him a sword, or?
I think so. And then she just attacks him.
Yeah.
And they spar for a little bit, going all around, climbing on chairs, everything.
Climbing on chairs, really?
I'm pretty sure it said that somewhere.
Interesting.
If not, oh well. I like it in my head better if they're like climbing over chairs, like while fighting. Very like Jack Sparrow, you know, like when they're fighting on a ship, they're using everything, swinging on ropes.
Yeah, no, I like it.
So yeah, going all over the place. All the women are just watching, and then Eondel,
from what he'd said, Sereni had assumed that his knowledge of fencing would be cursory, so just like basic.
Yeah,
she was mistaken.
Yes, he was. He could have won, I think, pretty easily.
Yeah, it says here Eondel was too good for her, and I don't know about easily, because I do think Sereni's a good fencer. It says here Eondel was too good for her. She could hold him, but was so busy with defense that she had no time to attack. So like, Eondel definitely would take the match.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he's putting everything he's got into it. He's probably not. So I feel like if this was a real fight, yeah, Eondel could probably take her pretty easy. But just this practice bout, I think she's doing okay.
Yeah. But similar to Royal, he concedes.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Concedes.
Mm-hmm.
He has, I have no choice but to yield, my lady.
Yeah, it says his stance weakened slightly, and Sereni struck reflexively, because she's like in it.
Yeah.
She's in the sauce.
Yeah.
And she notices his stance weakened. She strikes. Her round tip blade slipped past his defenses and came up against his neck.
Yeah.
And so then he yields, And then Sereni feels foolish.
Sereni comes to a realization here that she's been treating everything kind of as like a complex game, whereas it's not a game to him. Like,
No.
this is his country, like his life, and so to him it's not a game. So for him, he doesn't mind conceding because he wants Sereni to have, the trust of the women and everything. And she just comes to this realization, like, I should probably start taking things more seriously.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Then she gets him a drink, and he starts sipping it, and he's like, this is water.
That's just water. Which, just like, I always forget in, like, more fantasy settings that water was, like, dangerous to drink.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll see it, like, here. I think you also see it in Stormlight. Like, they just use wine.
Yeah, and
as
there's non-intoxicating wine.
Yeah.
But it's still like they're not drinking water.
Yeah. So like I always forget that, and then like I get reminded of that. I'm like, oh yeah, these people just be like getting tipsy all the time just to hydrate themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it says here, like, she's like, water is good for you, and he's like, I'm not sure about that. Where'd you get it? And she's like, oh, I sent it through this whole purification process, and then put it back in a wooden barrel to give it that taste, and all this stuff. And she's like, I don't want them getting tipsy during practice.
Yeah,
and he's like, Arylene wine is not that strong,
like strong enough.
Yeah.
And then we have Daddy Shuden over at the side doing, I'm sure this is your blue line.
Yes, it's on the next page when he's explaining it, but yeah.
So he is near the back of the room, eyes closed. He was moving slowly through a delicate set of motions. His taut muscles rippled as his hands spun in controlled loops, which my first couple times reading through this, I always thought of, is it Chayshawn? I always thought of Chayshawn as like, what's that? There's a martial art that's like very slow, and
I have no idea.
Someone knows what I'm talking about. There's a very slow martial art that's more about like movements and then like pitting your opponent's strengths against them.
Okay.
I always saw it as that, but rereading it this time, it's a lot more like swinging your arms around in like circular motions, and then eventually getting like really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And that just doesn't seem as cool to me.
You know what? Keep your headcanon the way it was.
Okay.
Because we know that Chayshawn is an invested art.
Yes.
And I am kind of assuming, I don't know, that, like, because we've already made the comparison of like net positive, net neutral, net negative, and where like Chayshawn would be the net neutral, where you're kind of like saving up energy, but you're not. You're creating momentum, but I think it's a net positive invested art because you're saving up energy, like you're creating momentum, but you're getting increased energy. And so
maybe I don't know if most of our audience followed that. I don't know if we've talked about net negative and net positive.
We did pod. when I talked about Dakor being this like similar to hemalurgy, where you have to like sacrifice lives to get like decreased returns.
Yeah.
Whereas Elantris, you're just pulling pure investiture into like your magic system and you're not using it up. That's kind of the same as hemalurgy and allomancy, where you are getting like a positive or less than, like in hemalurgy, you get less energy than you put in.
Yes.
Whereas in allomancy, you get more.
So, yeah, for those of you who barely followed that, because I barely followed that, basically, when it comes to an invested art, it can either be net positive, net neutral, or net negative. Net positive is basically you are getting out more than you are putting in. So we see this in allomancy, We see it in Aeon Door, where you're barely putting anything in, but you're getting lots out. You then have net neutral, which is similar to ferrochemy, where you are using your own power investiture, storing it, and then you can use that stored power investiture later. And then you have net negative, which is similar to hemalurgy or Dakor, where you are putting in more than you get out.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, as far as hemalurgy is concerned, once you like steal the power from someone and put it into someone else, which is what hemalurgy does, that second person will have less power than the first person does.
Yes.
So there's like decay in the art of hemalurgy.
Yes. Moving on.
Chase Sean, I don't know whether to call it net neutral or net positive. I feel like it would probably be a net positive, but
I feel like it might just be like a little bit of both.
yeah.
Because the way I see it is he is expending his energy and transferring it into investiture.
Yeah.
So I think it's more net neutral. It might be a little net positive because, yes, he does become multiple times stronger just from spinning his arms around, I guess. So maybe a little bit of both.
But yeah, they end up talking about it. Eondel says, Shuden's an interesting lad. He complains repeatedly about the way women chase him, but he can't resist the urge to show off. Despite it all, he's still a man and he's still rather young.
Yeah.
So they end up talking to him, and Serena asks him, like, what was that exercise? I've never seen anything like it. He says, we call it Chase Sean. It's a kind of warm-up, a way to focus your mind and body when preparing for a battle. Which, for me, that is the kata.
Yeah,
that's
practice
like
kata.
Kaladin's morning kata, the one that they do without weapons.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kaladin and Adolin, both, and Vivenna, Azure, we all see together doing this kata that Vasher taught them. And we know that Vasher's been around a long time.
Yeah.
And Vasher has traveled the Cosmere. I don't know that we have it confirmed that he's been to Cell. I'm pretty sure we don't, but he could have landed on Cell at some point.
So you're not just saying it's similar.
No, I'm saying this might be where Vasher gets his kata. I don't think that he's accessing the power system.
No, it's you have to be born in Jindo. And I don't know if it's regional based in that you have to be like in Jindo to use it fully.
Accessing the door and you have to be on Cell.
It might be though.
Yeah. I know he accesses it in Erelon.
Yeah, but they also use Aeon Door in Teod.
Yeah.
So it might be. You never know. So wow.
But yeah, I think like this could be
the kata.
El's kata
is actually Chaeshon.
Yeah.
I never considered that. Even reading through this. That's really cool. And I honestly, yes. Like it is now headcanon. It is into the Coppermind canon. The kata that Kaladin uses. Well, here's the thing. Kaladin knows kata before he meets Zael.
Right.
But you're saying the kata that they do specifically with Adolin and Vivenna in the Words of Radiance? No,
because they're
Rhythm of War.
They're doing it, yeah, in Shadesmar.
Yeah. Rhythm of War.
Oathbringer.
Oathbringer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I meant Oathbringer. I don't know why I said Words of Radiance. I was thinking book 3 when I said that.
Yeah, it's book 3. Oathbringer.
Wait, I thought Vivenna we didn't see her on Roshar until Rhythm of War. But no, I'm wrong.
No, you're wrong.
I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
Dumb Jacob. Okay, moving on.
Anyway, yes, that kata, because there are different katas.
Yeah.
There, and you can do a kata with a spear, you can do a kata with a sword, but there is a kata that Zael taught Adolin and Azure and Kaladin that they all three do together at one point. And Maya, I think, is doing it with them.
Yeah.
At some point. I know she ends up doing it with Adolin. Actually, I don't think that's until
later.
though.
By the way, Azure and Vivenna,
Same.
samesies.
So I do think that there's a possibility because we don't know exactly when the splintering of Devotion and Dominion happened, and
It
that
was
made it really hard to travel to Cell. But Vasher could have been there before.
I don't think. Well, how old it? Because Elantris and Warbreaker don't happen too far apart.
Right.
They're both very. They're some of the earliest Cosmere we see on screen. But we do know that the splintering of Devotion and Dominion happened way before Elantris.
But Vasher also returned way before Warbreaker.
Yeah, but like how way before?
I don't think
because
quite as far before as the splintering of Devotion.
Yeah, because it was like, if I'm remembering right, I can't remember if he says thousands or hundreds of years.
Hundreds.
Okay, so there's a chance.
Yeah,
but Vasher becomes Truth. What's his name? He has two other names.
Yeah, well, so his original returned name is Warbreaker the Peaceful.
Yes. Not talking about that one.
Okay. And then he has his
army name.
His army name is Kalad.
So that happens. So Kalad's army, and then also like the stopping of Kalad's army doesn't happen so far back in Warbreaker. I don't think it's like more than 300 years.
I don't think so either. But we also don't know how long
between like Elantris and
how old Vasher was at that point. Yeah. Because by the time that the mini war happened, they had already created Nightblood.
Oh my god.
Which means they'd already discovered all of this stuff about breath, so they already could have been around for hundreds of years, So
how old is Vasher?
Yeah. So anyway, that's a tangent. We don't need to dive further in. This episode's already going to be long.
We've talked more about the Cosmere than we have Elantris.
Yes, we have. So we're going to try to get back into Elantris.
So she sends do you have more to say on Cheshon?
I just write down here, after she sends them away, Ash says, "I'm sorry I missed the practice. I haven't watched a Cheshon exercise in decades." Which I was like, oh, interesting that he's seen a Cheshon exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So just that little note. It doesn't explain too much. She asked him, like, you've seen one before? He's like, I've seen many things, my lady. A Sion's life is very long. So thought that was interesting.
I thought that was interesting too. I think we know Ash has been with the Teod royal family for, was it 200 years?
I think,
or 300?
I think 200.
200 years. But presumably the Sions, I mean, no one knows how the Sions were made, but I'm going to take a stab and say that Devotion made them herself, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my headcanon is that the Sions were splinters that just gained gained sentience, basically.
But I feel like something would have to happen for them to just be the way they are. Because we know with Spren, it was like the feelings of the people.
Yeah.
That gave them their species, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, there's also we do know that Honor created Honor Spren.
Yeah. Do you think that Sions and Skays...
We're back to talking about the Cosmere.
Well, I'm trying to get back into Elantris. Do you think that Sions and Skays were created from the splintering? From the two shards getting splintered?
Quite possibly.
I feel like I like that explanation.
They were splintered, their essence was broken up, and pieces of that formed into Sions and Skays.
I like that.
Kind of my thought.
I like that. What were we talking about? Oh, a Sion's life is very long.
Yeah.
So Ash could have been around for like hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
At least 200 years, we know. But long enough that no one knows their origin.
Yep. So anyway, Sereni heads over to the chapel because she still has this question about what her widow's trial is supposed to be because nobody will talk to her about it. She heard somebody say offhandedly like, "Oh, what are you going to do for your widow's trial?" Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And nobody will give her an answer as to what that is.
So she meets the head priest, Omen. Father Omen, which has an Omai in it, which is love.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Domai.
Apt.
So, what?
Apt. It's an apt name for a Karathi priest.
Oh, yes, it is. We actually see Father Omen before this when she goes to see Raoden's coffin when she first shows up in Arelon. It doesn't say his name specifically, but the description matches. It was a short, kindly priest. I was going to point it out. It was like episode 1. I was going to point it out, but it never came up. So we actually see him in like chapter 2.
Okay.
But this is the first time we're meeting him like by name. Yeah. So he was short, he's kind, and she's kind of like, I need to know what this widow's trial is. No one's telling me.
Yeah. As she goes in, she says she dropped a few coins, nearly the last of the money she had brought with her from Teode, into the donation box, then went looking for the priest. So Sereni is like getting down to her last dime here.
Yep.
As she's walking into this chapel, looking for the priest to ask him, what this is supposed to be.
Yeah. So Father Omen tells her, he's like, it's a semi-religious ceremony left over from the days when the Elantrians ruled. Anything involving the city is a taboo topic in Arelon, especially for the faithful. So
so he's like, well, this is why nobody's telling you. And she's like, okay, well, if nobody can tell me, like, how am I expected to know what to do?
He's like, girl, chill out. I'll tell you, I promise.
Like, it's taboo. It's not like it's taboo, but only by custom, not by doctrine, is what he says.
Yeah, they go on. They talk about the Elantrians a little bit, but nothing of super import. I don't think. And then he eventually tells her, like, basically what a widow's trial is you do something for the kingdom, and the grander it is, shows you like, oh, she loved her husband this much.
Yeah, it says the severity of a widow's trial is an expression of how important she thought her union and how much she respected her husband. And Sereni's like, I never even met the guy.
Yeah. Like, I just gave you a couple bucks. Does that count? No. She doesn't say that, but so she figures out what it is, and then she goes back to talking about the Elantrians.
Yeah.
And she's like, Father, was it Domai? Did he like curse the Elantrians? And then like you just get into a little bit of, I feel like this is very Brandon leaking in some like Christianity here in this explanation. So Father Domai's explaining basically.
Yeah, he's like, everything happens according to Domai's will.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, I do not think that curse is the right word. At times, Domai sees fit to send disasters upon the world. Other times, he will give the most innocent of children a deadly disease. These are no more curses than what happened to Elantris. These are simply the workings of the world.
Yeah.
So, interesting bit of just like, and I don't think that theology is unique to Christianity. I just think it's
yeah, maybe it's because I grew up Christian, and so like I've heard that sort of explanation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, why does God let bad things happen to good people? I've heard that sort of explanation. So
I think that's pretty standard for people who believe in a higher power. That it's not necessarily God that causes the pain and suffering.
Yeah,
he just allows it. So
yeah. So
they go back. They start talking about the trial again.
She's kind of like, where would I get the money to do anything?
Yeah. And Omai's like, money?
Money?
You're one of the richest people in Erelon. Like,
I think he says the third or fourth richest.
all right, it just says you're one of the richest people in Erelon.
Oh, yeah. And it's because she inherited Raoden's estate. And because of how Iadon set up the government, he needs his son to be wealthy. He needs his daughter-in-law to be wealthy. So she's wealthy.
She wealthy.
Yeah.
So Serini, dropping next to her last dime into the collection plate and then walking out of here realizing she's like one of the richest people in the country.
Yeah. So she leaves Father Omen, and Ash is waiting for her outside, which I think is interesting that Ash feels the need to wait outside.
Yeah, not enter the chapel.
Yeah, and I assume it's because of like his relationship to the Elantrians. But we also learned that he was kicked out of a Karathi chapel by Cianalin.
Yeah, the patriarch of Shukoroth.
Yeah, he has Aeon Allah or Ale in it, which means beauty or handsomeness.
Okay.
Which, like, he would like for that to fit him. Very much so. I don't know if it actually does. So, anyways,
they get to talking about Crathen and what he's up to.
Yes.
So they're talking a little bit about Elantris, about the city guard. It says Crathen appears quite friendly with the city guard.
Yeah.
She's like, what is he trying to do with that city? And Ash is like, it baffles me as well. And then Sereni's like, you know what? Like, I don't think I need to know.
No.
I don't think I need to know what he's trying to accomplish in order to cut him off. I know he's trying to pit the people against the Elantrians. And so if that's his goal, then my goal is to make sure that they love and accept, maybe not love, but accept the Elantrians, basically.
She's basically like, I can kill two birds, one stone, essentially. Which she's basically saying she can do her widow's trial and try and block what Crathen's doing by trying to get the people to accept Elantrians as not supernatural or not Svarkus, devils, demons, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to call my pop. I want to call Dad.
So she does, and they're chatting. And
Magic FaceTime through Siones.
Magic FaceTime. And they're talking a little bit about the mysteries, about how the mysteries always pop up when an eclipse is near.
Yes, the Jesker mysteries.
Yes.
He's had to put down a couple of what does he call them? Cults? Or
yeah, another Jeskerai mystery cult. They always seem to spring up when an eclipse is near.
Yeah.
Which becomes important later.
Yep, it's a little hint that eclipses or lunar events are important.
Yep. It says Sereni shivered.
Yeah.
The mystery cultists were an odd bunch. One her father didn't like to deal with.
So. Yeah. And then he's like, I have worse news though.
Yeah.
The ambassador from Fjordell dipped.
Yes. Which at this point, they've already ejected or rejected or told to leave all of the priests from Tio. They got rid of all the Fjordell priests, but they still had an ambassador. Like there were still trade relations, I think, and different stuff. And he's like, yeah, he gone.
And that's scary because that pretty much just means one thing, is that stuff's about to go down in Tio, you know? Yeah. So they're kind of like, well, crap. And King of Entio's kind of breaking down a little here.
Yeah, he tells her, like, I'm scared,
like, and like he's not using his king voice, he's using his papa voice.
Yeah.
And he's wanting Sereni to come home, and she's like, I can't. One, no one likes me there. Yeah. Two, this is where stuff is happening. I can make a difference here.
Yeah, and there's a Gjorn here.
Yeah.
And they talk about Crathen for a little bit, and she tells him his name, and he's like, you do know that's the Gjorn that was assigned to Duladel before his
Yeah.
collapse. And she's like, I guess that's who he was. And so he's even more concerned now. And he's like,
Yep.
I'm sending a ship for you. And she's like, I'm not leaving. Like,
He's like, I'm
I gotta
staying.
stay.
I'm staying. There's she brings up Uncle Kiine.
Yes.
She's like, Uncle Kiine is here in Kai, and all her dad says is like, do not mention his name to me.
As if Eventio was the one that got slighted. You know,
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
that's how I feel like Eventio's like, oh, don't mention
Like
his name.
he tried to steal my throne from me
Yeah.
when King Eventio was the one that stole the throne.
Yeah. So that like irked me a little bit where
Yeah.
Eventio's like, don't mention his name to me. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, like you stole the throne. Like, what do you you have to be upset about?
It's weird. It's weird.
So
So they change the subject because King Eventio's not having it. And they start talking about how borders are closing to Teo merchants and his ambassadors are starting to disappear. And that he can't get a spy into, he calls it the Velding. He says, I haven't been able to get anyone into the Velding in over a month. Which
I feel like is just like the
headquarters?
I think, I don't know. He calls it the Velding.
Yeah, he calls it, he says, I haven't been able to get anyone into the Velding in over a month.
Because when I hear that, I would just kind of think the valley, more or less, that's surrounded by the mountains that Fjordell controls.
Yeah.
So that would include like Fjorden, Fjordell, you know, Kragan, Hrobel, Jador.
Yeah, I would
like all of that.
I would agree with you, but the copper mine says very little on it.
Okay.
I looked it up on the copper mine to see what it was, and basically doesn't give us any more information than we have here. But I feel like if it was a regional thing, like that would have been easily known. You know?
Yeah.
When I hear it, I think of it almost like
maybe it's the court of Fjordell.
Yeah, so like the capital.
Yeah.
Of Fjordell, or like wherever Wern resides is like the Velding. I don't know. But his spies are dying, and everything. And then they mention here that he wanted to get someone into the Dakor monastery.
Yeah. And I was like, no, you don't. Like, you need to know what's going on there, but you don't want anybody in there.
Here's the thing. Even if King Eventio got something back and like heard what was going on there, I don't think he would really understand it enough to like even take action or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the guy would come back and be like, they're sacrificing people, they are carving up bones, like there's tons of stuff going on there, and he would kind of just be like, okay, what do I do with this?
Okay. So
that was interesting. It's interesting that they've gotten spies into the other monasteries, though.
Yeah. And my thought was like Marsh infiltrating the
Steel Ministry.
Yeah, the Steel Ministry.
Yes.
And then eventually becoming a Steel Inquisitor himself.
Goodness.
And I'm like, if you send a spy into Dakor, here's the thing. I don't think they can become like, because I think that Dakor, just like Aondor, is regionally based to the extent that if you send someone from Teod into the Dakor Monastery, I don't know that they're gonna be able to use the magic.
I would assume he's using like someone from Fjordell as a spy.
Interesting.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty common.
Yeah.
Like your spy is someone who's actually from there, because those are going to be the best spies. Obviously, someone from Teod's going to stand out
head and shoulders up the crowd.
It's like sending an American into Russia and expecting them to, be a good spy.
No, you're right.
So, anyways, they basically come to the conclusion that like if Wern turned their attention to Teod, they would not be able to fight.
Yeah.
And King Eventio would probably give in.
Yeah. And it says, I will not sit back and watch my people be slaughtered. And Serenia's like, you would consider surrendering? And he says a king's duty is to protect his people.
Yeah.
So
And Sereni is being kind of a little immature here. She's like, you would be as spineless as the Jindo. And like, you're giving up all, like, not super seeing it logically here.
I love what she says here, like, convert or die. Both options were sickening.
Yeah, but then she's basically like, you know what? It's worth dying for. Like, to Sereni, she knows that converting would be the most logical, but to her, it's more worth it to die for it.
Yeah.
She thinks it would do more good. So
then her dad says, if you figure out why Wern is sinking Iodon ships, tell me. And she's like, wait, what?
huh?
And he's like, yeah, the official reports claim that the sinkings are the work of pirates, some remnant of Driat Crushthroat's fleet, which
Wild.
King Eventio, I'm sure, knows who Driak is. You know.
Well, that's the cover story they gave. Like Sereni knows someone tried to come take the throne from her dad.
Yeah.
But Sereni knows it as Crushed Throat.
Yeah.
It's also wild that he doesn't use the correct name here because everyone calls him Crushed Throat.
Yeah, that is who he is Driak Crushthroat. He named himself Crushed Throat, but everybody, like the whole continent, knows.
I don't know.
Driak Crushthroat.
I feel like his brother would probably know.
Yeah,
that it's Crushed Throat.
You're probably right.
Anyways,
but, he's not going to tell Sereni that.
Kind of wild that he's just like, it was probably my brother or like my brother's followers.
Yeah,
that was the official story.
The official report says it was your uncle Kiine.
Yeah.
However, my sources link the sinkings with Fjorden.
Yeah, so everything starts to click for Sereni.
Yeah, because there was the messenger that came to Eventio.
Yes.
Delivered a message, got him upset. She's like, oh, that's what that was.
She's realizing Hrathen's plan. She's basically like, oh, get King Iodon's riches down, give Telri more riches so that Telri can have a claim for the throne and he'll be sympathetic to Shudirith. That's his plan.
Yes.
Yep.
So she kind of pieces all that together right then. And she's like, well, I guess we're siding with King Iodon, you know?
Yeah, and the Elantrians.
Like, and the Elantrians. As much as it hurts, she's like, I really don't like Iodon.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it looks like Hrathen has chosen our allies for us. And then he says, we all do the best with what Domai has given us. She says, you sound like a priest. And he says, I have found reason to become very religious lately. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm wondering, is that just this predicament? Is that why he has found reason to become very religious? Or is there something bigger going on that, like, has made him religious?
I mean, even if there is, we don't hear about it.
Yeah.
So
just a fun little thought.
Yeah. I would assume it's probably his predicament.
Yeah.
He's probably like, you know what? My kingdom could use a little boost. Maybe I should be more religious.
Yeah.
Well, oh my goodness. Hiccups.
Excuse you. So anyway, cuts to Sereni being in bed, and it says she knew that it was unlikely, because she's just sitting there thinking, she knew that it was unlikely that Wern would let her father continue to rule, even if he did convert. She also knew that Eventio would willingly give his life if it would spare his people. And so I saw that, I was like, you know what, like, he is a good king.
Yeah.
He might be a usurper.
Yeah.
But that was years ago. I feel like he's grown, matured. I feel like Eventio is a good king.
I'm sure that, like, when Eventio was taking the throne, he was doing it in his mind for, like, the best interests of the people.
Yeah.
Because we know Kiine was off traveling the world all this time. So I'm sure he saw it as, like, Kiine's not fit to rule. I'm going to take the throne for the people.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt that way.
Yeah.
And he does. He is a good king. So
anyway, she keeps thinking, and then it says, she starts thinking negative thoughts about herself, and then it says her self-recrimination was interrupted by a noise.
Yes. So you don't. when you're reading this, you don't know what this noise is. But this is the first time we hear a noise that will later repeat itself on a schedule. And Serene eventually figures out that this is King Iadon sneaking out of the palace.
Presumably using the same passage that Raoden and Karada used to sneak into the palace.
Yes. So, connections there. It's kind of a throwaway paragraph here. She's just like, oh, I'm dozing off. Oh, that was a weird noise.
Yeah,
Then she goes to sleep.
she's like, it came from inside the room. And she looks up and she's like, oh, that's not inside the room. That's next room over. And then she's like, wait,
there is no next
there's
room.
no next room over. That is the wall to the exterior of the castle. I have a window. And then she's like, that's weird, and falls asleep.
Yeah, it's interesting that she doesn't put it together, I would say almost quicker, because her window seal thick.
Gotta be thick.
Well,
yeah.
She realizes it.
Oh, really?
It's like, yeah, part of the story, she being like, this be a thick window.
Yeah.
So she like realizes it. I feel like it should have clicked earlier.
Yeah, because you got your window pane.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have a foot and a half and a foot and a half in front and behind of this window pane. That ain't no normal window pane.
It's a thick window.
Yeah.
So, and that's the end of Cerny's chapter.
Into Hrathen's chapter.
Into Hrathen's chapter. Do you know how long we've been recording for?
Yeah, it's been an hour and 6 minutes.
Let's zoom through this.
We zoom in.
Sorry for the long episode, guys. So Delof comes into the chapel.
Yeah.
Or into Hrathen's office, and is met with an Elantrian.
Yes. And he swears.
Yep.
Hrogith Jaw.
Hrogith Jaw.
Yeah. And it says the Fjordell curse, so we know it's a Fjordell curse.
Yep.
Rising quickly to his lips. And Hrathen was a little bit surprised that it would come so easily to him. Because Hrathen thinks that Delof is an Erelon who learned the Fjordan language when he converted to Shu Direth.
Yeah, he says the Ardith had submerged himself in Fjordan's culture deeply indeed.
Yeah.
That's like Hrathen's like, oh, this is why he knows this curse.
Yeah. This is one of our first, like, bigger clues that Delof is not an Erelon.
Yeah, Delof is native Fjordell.
Yeah.
Which we know he is.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our first time, like, the first context clue of, like, hey, he...
Other than how proficient he is at speaking the language.
Yeah, of course. And, okay, I've been wanting to talk about this.
Okay.
This bit for a bit. Hrathen goes, like, say hello to Dyren Ardith, which is the Elantrian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dyren has Aeon Irie, which means time and age, which is also like, if you know anything about the Cosmere, you know about the Irie. I assume they're taking this Aeon as like their name.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. We don't have time to get into them.
Okay. That's not what you wanted to talk about.
No.
If you don't know anything about the Irie, go read Mistborn Secret History if you haven't.
So we're going to go through this quite a bit, quite quickly. They talk back and forth about Elantrians. Hrathen's like, oh, are they always bald? Blah, blah, blah. Delof explains it a little bit, but in his own special way.
Yeah. Before I'm going to stop you just for 1 second, and I'm going to let you run, because I love this line. When Delof walks in, he's like, an Elantrian. And Hrathen's like, yes, very good, Ardith. And you may not set fire to him.
Yes, that is a good line.
I love that line. Now I'm going to let you run with what you want.
Yeah, I'm going to skip over quite a bit here. But he sends Delof away. He's basically like, hey, I need you to prepare for the tonight's sermon. I'm going to question the Elantrian.
Mm-hmm.
So Delof gets sent away, and he's talking to the Elantrian. Okay. So he's like, what were you before you were an Elantrian? He was like, I was a peasant. I worked the fields of Aeor Plantation. Aeor is an Aeon, but we don't have a definition for it.
The Copper Mine doesn't have a definition for it.
Yeah, moving on. He says, how long have you been an Elantrian? And Diren says, I was thrown in during the fall of Elantris.
No.
The fall of what?
Like autumn.
No.
I was thrown in during the fall. 7 months, 8, I lose track.
I took that as the fall of Elantris. We haven't gotten seasons in this book. We don't get seasons in this book at all.
I'm pretty sure it's summer.
Is it?
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this means the fall as in fall.
Well, now I feel dumb. I was under the impression that this guy had been in Elantris for 10 years and wasn't hoeyed.
And thought he'd only been there for 7 or 8 months.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think he was thrown in September, and it's June. Like
I was so excited. I was so excited for this. This would have had
so sorry.
would have had so many implications, and now it's just dumb.
Yeah, sorry. I hate to kill your moment.
Well, we can go back and talk about the other stuff if we want. Now
It's okay.
I'm so crestfallen. I had theories, bro. I had stuff. Darn it. I hate Brandon for using that terminology. Dude, this planet has special names for days, special names for months, but then they use Earth seasons? I don't like that.
Sorry, my guy.
That's okay. That's okay. We can move
I
on.
was trying to think of when Sereni catches King Iadon.
Oh, did it say like the summer
I think
solstice
it's
or
summer solstice.
I really don't like that. I really dislike that everything about this world is unique except for their seasons. Anyways,
Sorry.
it's mostly me being upset because I put some
I
effort
just quashed all of your theories.
because I put some effort into that. Oh well. Anyways, they go on to talk about the gangs and how this guy's hungry.
Jake is done with this chapter now.
Dude, I was so excited, bro.
Oh man. So as the interrogation proceeds, Hrathen realizes that Dyren doesn't know much more that's going to be of any use to him.
Yeah.
So he kind of leaves him. Dyren knew nothing of the Elantrian magic, and so then Delof comes back, right? Hrathen made him. He sent Dyren back with the guard.
Yes.
He was like, take him back to Elantris.
Buy him some food.
Buy him some food because he promised Dyren that if he answered his questions, he'd get him a basket of food to take back to Elantris.
We learned that Dyren doesn't make it back to Elantris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet, though.
Not yet.
So Delof comes in and Hrathen's like, is everything ready? And he says, yes, my Croden, like people are beginning to arrive for the services. And then they're talking a little bit more about the hatred. And Hrathen says, don't forget, there's a point to this hatred, right? And Delof is like, it unifies our followers. It gives them a common enemy. And Hrathen's like, yes, but the enemy is not Elantris. The enemy is Shukoroth.
Yep.
And so we need to tie Elantris into Shukoroth.
We need to make that connection.
Yes.
We need to transfer their anger towards Shukoroth. And he said, that's going to be your job tonight.
Yeah, he says, I want you to make the connection in your sermon tonight. And he's like, will my Hroden not do it himself? And Hrathen is like, I'm going to speak second. I'm going to put your zeal and zest out there to get everybody like, you know.
It's putting Delof's zest out there,
You know
huh?
what? Yes, he is.
So he's like, yeah, you're going to stir him up. And then I'm going to like hit him with the hard logic.
Yeah.
And it's going to stick.
Which, at what point, because people are arriving, they're beginning to arrive for the services, and Delof's going first.
Yep.
So at what point does Delof have the time to catch the guard who is supposed to take Dyren back to Elantris, bring Dyren back, and then, because he beat him. Like, he
Yeah. Well, I mean, we
So-
get a page break.
Yeah.
They basically are like, okay, Deloff leaves, and then it jumps straight to Deloff speaking.
Yeah.
So I mean, there could have been some time in
Okay.
between those.
While people are arriving,
Yeah.
and settling in, and
Yeah.
sitting down. Okay.
So yeah, Deloff stops the guard and is like, actually, we want the Elantrian.
Yeah, he said Hrathen said
Yeah.
that he wants you to bring him back.
Yeah. So Deloff's speaking, and Hrathen's kind of like patting himself on the back, which
Hrathen shouldn't do.
no, every time Hrathen congratulates himself, stuff goes down.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like he either gets manipulated or what we're about to talk about happens. So he's like, man, I'm so good. Like I'm channeling Deloff's zeal into like where I want it, and like everything's going good. And like Deloff makes the connection between Shu Koroth and the Elantrians, and then
It says Deloff has the raw talent, but Hrathen was the master behind it. And so
Yeah.
Hrathen just feels like this puppet master
yeah,
pulling these strings.
that's funny, Hrathen. That's a good one. And he says he told himself that right up to the moment Deloff surprised him. So Deloff starts talking about the Elantrians again, and then is like, and now behold the Svarkus. Thank you. And he has the Elantrian tied up and cuts.
Yeah, cuts on his face that had not been there before. So
Yeah.
you know that Deloff has had some time and like cut this guy up and everything. And
You gotta just hate the guy.
I hate
Deloff.
Deloff.
Like, when you ask people who you hate most in the Cosmere, a lot of people will say Moash.
Which is a good answer.
It's a great answer.
Good answer.
But I think I hate Deloff more.
There's a difference between the two. I almost hate Moash more for what he's done. But the reasoning, like I hate Deloff more. Moash had a lot of internal stuff going on that kind of overwhelmed him, and he just wanted to give it away. And that kind of turned him into a tool to be used. And it just hasn't been great.
Moash got manipulated.
Yeah.
To think one way, and like he got in so deep that like eventually, yes, he turns into or he bonds an unmade at the end, or no, what happens?
He's given a title. He's given one of the
oath. No, the honor blades.
He is given an honor blade and given he's given the title of Vyre. Who quiets.
Yeah.
And given an honor blade.
Yeah. So like eventually Moash, goes kind of on the deep end and is like on the enemy side. But Deloff is just like pure hatred.
Yeah.
And is also like the leader of the Dakor Monastery, which like dark stuff. Yeah. I'm pretty sure when later in the book, when Hrathen is starting to have flashbacks to the monastery, one of the reasons he quits is because the leader of the monastery sacrificed a person to teleport him
10 feet.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Deloff sacrificed a person to teleport himself 10 feet.
Yeah, not for the teleportation, for the show.
Yeah.
Wild.
I think I hate Deloff more than Moash.
Yeah. What do you think is darker? Dakor or Hemalurgy?
I feel like we don't know enough about Dakor to really make that.
Yeah.
But like we do know they use sacrifices for some of the powers.
Yeah.
But Hemalurgy is just like, it's a gruesome image.
Yeah.
Like,
but we also know that Hemalurgy can be accomplished without death.
Yes, we know that now. But like Era 1
Hemalurgy?
When Kelsier and Vin, or maybe it was just Kelsier, walks in that room and there's just
where Marsh was turned into.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's just blood everywhere.
And just it's not just blood, it's carnage.
Yeah.
And like they found a corpse.
Yeah.
And there was actually several, but there just weren't enough identifiable pieces for them to realize that there were several corpses.
Era 1 hemalurgy, definitely darker. But like Era 2 hemalurgy, it's kiddie. It's kids play. It's child's play.
We
It's
are
really
going to see some Era 2, or not Era 2, some post-Era 2 dark hemalurgy, I think, though.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like it. We've got to, because hemalurgy can accomplish so much in the Cosmere.
Yeah, but like once you... Because basically what they've discovered is like a way to invest the spikes without killing someone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you gotta be some messed up people to be like, nah, I'm just gonna kill them instead, you know?
I feel like, did I see somewhere that you can take one of the Return's divine breaths with
Dude,
hemalurgy?
you can take literally anything.
I feel like you're not going to be able to accomplish that without killing the Return, though. There's no way.
Yeah, probably.
So, anyway.
You think we're going to see someone use a hemalurgic spike to steal a divine breath?
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well.
I don't know.
Dude.
I'm and here's the thing, and maybe I should feel bad for this. I'm so excited to see hemalurgy in the wider Cosmere.
The problem is that hemalurgy is so strong.
Yeah.
It literally, the ability to steal any ability.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
use
think
a hemalurgic spike to steal a Spren bond?
Do you think that Hoid is spiked?
Ooh, I don't think so.
Do you think he'll eventually be spiked?
Maybe. I almost doubt it, purely because of the influence that hemalurgy gives Ruin or Harmony over the recipient. Hoid is collecting investiture types, but he's also trying to stay very separate from the shards.
Right, but what if he did it, because there's a god medal for every shard.
Mm-hmm.
What if you did it somehow with like a splintered shards god medal? So like if he got like a devotion spike. Oh,
I don't know, dude.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. This episode's gonna be so long.
Okay, so anyway, he's showing off this Elantrian.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what?
Svrakis.
That's not the word I was going for.
Okay.
He's showing off this Elantrian that's got new cuts and everything, and the crowd is going with him.
Crowd's going nuts.
Yeah, they're like, demon, devil, Svrakis.
And the Elantrian's not helping himself. He's like, destroy me.
End of the pain,
destroy me.
And I'm wondering,
Hoid mantra?
Yeah, is this now a Hoid mantra?
It's gotta be.
Because, like...
He's just, like... It's more the fact that he's, like... He's not screaming it, actually.
This is the Elantrian pled.
I mean, it does have explanation points, so you kind of see it as, like...
Yeah.
Destroy me! Rather than just, like... Destroy me.
Yeah.
End the pain. You know, like a normal Hoid mantra seems. So... Elantrian's not really helping.
No, but Hrathen comes in to help because he's like, he realized one thing immediately, that Delof couldn't be allowed to murder this Elantrian in public.
Yeah.
He's like, if we kill this Elantrian right now, this group that we've got here, turn it into a mob. Like,
yes.
Immediately. And
the king's gonna come down and stop us from preaching.
Exactly.
Everything.
Like, that's what he's worried about. He's like, if this turns into a mob, if things get violent, all this, like, he doesn't care about the Elantrian. He's just worried that, like, it's gonna alienate the king even more than he already is. We're not gonna be able to preach anymore.
Yeah. So they're all like, kill it. And then Hrathen stands up and he yells like, but what good would that do? Trying to like rein them in.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't really work at first. He ends up grabbing a torch and like doing fist pumps in the air. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like getting the crowd to like cheer with him, like, yeah, which I think is hilarious. And then like he's getting them all to like cheer with him, and then in the part where they're all silent, he starts talking.
Yeah, he's like, "What good would killing this creature do?" And they respond like, "It's a demon."
Yeah,
You know, like they're going back and forth here.
yeah,
And he's like, "Yes, but it is already tormented."
yeah.
And that's like, I think that's probably the point where people were like, "Huh."
Oh, yeah. He's like, and he goes on to be like, Lord Yadith made it this way. Why would we end its suffering?
Yeah, it's begging us to end its suffering.
Yeah.
Do we want to give it what it wants?
Yeah. So Hrathen's just so good at this.
Yeah.
So he switches them pretty much like instantly.
Yeah.
And then he starts tying it back into the Karathi, and he starts attacking the Karathi church.
Yeah, he's like, remember, the Karathi are the ones who care for the Elantris.
Yeah. They're too lenient, all that. And he's like, even now they still hedge when asked if the Elantrians are demons. Like, they're indecisive, they're not strong, but, you know, like Shudireth, we're strong.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So he gets them more corralled in, you know, says his piece, and then kind of dispels them.
Yeah, and he says, tell your friends what you have learned.
Yeah.
And urge them to shun Karathi heresies.
Yeah.
Right?
And then he turns to Deloff and he's like, we need to talk. You're in trouble, you know?
Yeah. And so they end up finding the Elantris city guard, and he's confused.
Mhm.
He's like, the young priest caught me before I got back to the city. He said you wanted the creature back.
Yeah.
Did I do wrong? And Hrathen's like, no. Like, if that's the true story, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have words with Deloff.
Yeah, and he does. He's having words with Deloff, and Deloff is like not accepting the words. Like,
Yeah.
Deloff is fighting back.
Yep. And
They do all this.
They burn
Yeah.
the Elantrian.
Yep.
And it says the Elantrians seem to welcome the flames despite the terrible pain they must
Yeah.
have caused. And I was like,
Sad.
rough. But yeah, they're talking. It says Hrathen watched the pitiful man's eyes until the flames consumed him completely. And it says, and the burning fire of Yadith's displeasure shall cleanse them. Deloff whispered, quoting the Dodireth, which is Shudireth's scripture.
Yes.
So, and this is like, we don't get a lot of quoted scripture, but this is like a quote directly from the scripture of Shudireth. This is, and the burning fire of Yadith's displeasure shall cleanse them. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and then Hrathen goes, judgment belongs to Yadith alone, and it is executed by only his servant Wern, he quoted, using a different passage from the same book. So they're kind of Bible bashing. They're kind of Bible bashing here. They're like Hrathen, or not Hrathen, Deloff like quotes it, using it as kind of like justification for what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But then Hrathen's like, nah,
not this. He's like, you should not have forced me to kill this creature.
Yeah, yeah. They go back and forth, basically saying like, but Yadith's, you know, we do Yadith's will and all this. And Hrathen basically is trying to explain this theological conundrum they're in, because the way Deloff is saying it is like, whatever we do is Yadith's will because it's his servants. But Hrathen's like, so are you deciding what Yadith's will is because you're his servant, or should we be doing what Yadith and Wern tells us? You know, like they're going back and forth on like which one's correct.
Yeah.
And then Hrathen says this. He goes, would the deaths I cause in a riot be my doing or simply the will of God? How can you be an innocent servant while I must accept full accountability for this city's people? Which I was like, got him. Got him. And Deloff knows he got him. He exhaled sharply, but he knew he had been defeated.
Yeah, it says he bowed curtly, then turned and entered the chapel.
Yeah, so Hrathen's a Gjorn. Like, Deloff may be a Grogdet. Grogdet? Nice. Good pull. Good pull, Jake.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
I don't know. Deloff may be a Grogdet, but Hrathen's a Wern for a reason, and like he can.
Bjorn.
Dang it! No.
You said it right the first time. You said it right the first time, and then said Wern the second time. Oh man, we were all so impressed.
You get the point. Move on, dude. This episode's chalked. I can't get anything right, bro.
Oh man.
We get a mention of Decor.
Yeah, of Hrathen's time at Duckor
Yes.
and some of his memories there. Says the man's willful acceptance of immolation brought memories to Hrathen's mind. Memories he had long tried to banish. Images of pain, of sacrifice, and of death. Memories of Duckor.
Yeah.
Wild.
Pretty heavy there.
Yeah, he turned his back on the charred bones, walked toward the chapel. He still had one other task to complete this evening.
Yes. So
I don't know why. I love Forton.
I love Forton too.
Like, I just love this whole interaction. It's one of my favorites.
He's like, Forton is this hippie who's getting high off mushrooms all the time.
Yeah,
Essentially.
pretty much.
And Hrathen is using him
Yeah.
because of he says he has like unmatched talent for creating like elixirs and stuff.
Yeah, there was some point when Hrathen got poisoned by something that has no known cure.
Yeah.
It's a slow-acting poison, and this guy gave him an antidote.
Yeah. So we jump to Hrathen in his office. He's using the Sion to contact this guy in Hrovel, Forton, which, like we said, he's just like a hippie, pretty much. That's always high.
Yeah. One note I did make here about the conversion of Erlon, it says Wern didn't care if Hrathen converted the masses or not.
Yeah.
As long as the nobility bowed, the country was considered Derethi. And so that's just a little insight into we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
but not needing to convert the masses, just convert over the leadership. And that is what has happened in Hrovel, which is where Forton is from.
Yes.
The leadership has declared,
The state religion as
Shudireth.
yes.
And the people, practice Shudireth, but he says they also just as fervently practice their Jeskai mysteries,
Yeah.
They'll go here on Sunday night and worship Direth and then go worship the mystery on Tuesday night. Yeah, Yadith. Thank you.
So, he magic FaceTimes this guy, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to make something for me." And he's like, "What does it need to do?" And Hrathen smiles because this was meant for Delof.
Yes. So what Hrathen's doing here is he's getting Forton to create him an elixir that will give someone the appearance of being a Riodolantrian.
Yes,
It'll turn their skin dark in splotches, make them lose their hair, and
make him look like a Riodolantrian.
Like a Riodolantrian for 3 days.
Yes.
And his plan, when he orders this, is to use it on Delof. He doesn't. We see it differently. We'll get into that later, but this is his plan.
And he's kind of like, yeah, that'll be no problem. He already has 2 elixirs that do the same things. He just needs to mix them.
Yeah. What's he got those for?
I don't know. I don't know. I made this one. It makes your hair fall out.
Exactly, dude. I'm like, how does this man just have 2 random elixirs that he can just combine and create a Riodolantrian?
Who knows? But Hrathen needs 2 doses.
At least 2 doses.
Yeah, which
I think he gets 3. 1 breaks.
True.
So Forton sends him 3 doses, but he only ends up using 2.
Yeah. He uses the first on himself and then the second on Serini.
Yeah.
So, he's like, I'll pay your standard price, and this guy's like, my true payment is the knowledge I have served Lord Yadith. And it's funny because Forton knows and Hrathen knows that it's for show.
Yeah.
This guy actually doesn't feel that way, but he's playing the game. So
yeah. So he asks, when will my lord be needing this potion? Says, that's the thing, Forton. I need it yesterday. I need it immediately. And he was like, well, even if I finished it tonight and sent it tomorrow, it's not going to get to you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's like, you couldn't have chosen a farther place to be from me. Which I think is true. I think Hrovel is on the opposite side of Opilon. If I can flip to my map real quick.
Erelon. Hrovel. That's where.
Yeah, so it's kind of in the southeast corner, and Erelon is in the northwest corner.
He could have been in Teod.
It is true. He could have been in the Rose Empire. Yeah, that's where
Shy.
Yeah, the Emperor's Soul takes place.
Yep.
Which is interesting because in the last chapter, we didn't point it out, but King Aventio talks about the mountains to the north as Teod as impassable.
Really?
So Teod does not know about the Rose Empire.
Interesting.
It and at this time on Cell. So
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Anyways, so yeah, he talks to him. I also think it's funny here when they're saying goodbye. He's like, feel free to pray to me anytime you need to.
Yeah. And it explains here that Forton doesn't know that
Hrathen has a
Hrathen
Sion.
He just assumes that the Gjorns can pray and Yadith will transfer it to the Sions.
Yeah. Also wild, Forton has a Sion.
Yes, that was another thing of mine. I was
like, Sions are not commonplace.
No.
Like, we knew that a lot of royalty had them back in the day before the fall of Elantris, but it's not like there's hundreds or thousands of these things.
No.
I mean, there might be hundreds. We don't know how many Aeons there are, but there's not tons. So that
they're not a dime a dozen.
The fact that this random hippie in the middle of the mountains in wherever he's from, Frovel, has a Sion? Crazy.
Yes.
Actually crazy.
And we learned a little bit, Hrathen is a little hesitant or a little reticent about using his Sion to contact this man because people aren't supposed to know that they have Sions and he's not using it to contact Wyrn, but he's like, but Wyrn never told me specifically to not use it to do something else.
Yeah.
And then he's also I shouldn't be using this man, because he's not a true believer.
Right.
And he's like, but if Yadith will allow the use of Sions, then he'll allow the use of men like this. So
yep.
Just some thoughts rolling through Hrathen's mind.
Yep. And that's pretty much the end of the chapter, unless you had anything else to say.
No, yeah, just that last bit. Forton was a drug addict, a heretic, and a hypocrite, but he was still an invaluable resource. Hrathen had long ago decided that if Yadith would have suffered his Gjorns to communicate using Sions, then he would certainly let Hrathen use men such as Forton. After all, Yadith had created all men, even the heretics.
Yep. There we go. We got through it. And it's only been 8 hours.
So, for our Cosmere question of the week.
Yes, we are going to get into our Cosmere question of the week segment.
We have a question that the Unstable Dawn Shard gave us that we're not really going to get into. It doesn't really have anything to do with Cosmere theory or anything like that. The Unstable Dawn Shard asked us what our dream cast would be for a live action adaptation of Elantris.
Yeah.
I really struggle doing things like that. I'm really kind of the reason we're not doing that is because I've already said this on the podcast. I have aphantasia, which is the inability to create mental imagery. I can't picture anything. Yeah. And so for me to think of who's in here and to try to think up a cast, it doesn't compute in my head.
Yeah.
A lot of people will probably go watch a live action adaptation of one of their favorite movies and they'll cast a character and the people will be like, oh, that's totally not how I pictured them in my head.
Yeah.
I've never had that experience in my life because I don't have a picture in my head of what this character is supposed to look like. So when somebody creates a live action adaptation and casts someone, that is now that character. If anybody's a Percy Jackson fan, I know there was a lot of outrage about the cast for Annabeth.
Yeah.
Didn't notice. Like I
Because
noticed
she's like blonde in the book,
yeah, something like that.
but the actor had like very dark,
Mhm.
almost black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't notice.
Yeah.
Because I have no picture. And so to try to create a cast, like I would probably say some names and you guys would be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna sorry, Unstable Dawnshard, we always appreciate your questions. We're gonna move past that one.
It's not out of the realm. I might make a TikTok.
Yeah.
If I have the time to go find, who I would actually cast, that TikTok might come in the future, but as of right now, it's not in the works.
Yeah.
So instead of answering a question this week, Spotify, I know only about 60% of our listeners are using Spotify, but Spotify has a poll system that you can add a poll to the episode. So this is going to be kind of a question for our audience rather than us. And the poll we're going to do is this is kind of going to be like a Team Jacob, Team Edward sort of vibe.
Okay.
We're going to do Team Roshar versus Team Scadrial.
As far as like who's gonna win in a battle or who has the better characters, who has the better series.
I think we're just going to leave it general.
Okay.
We're going to say, which one do you identify with? Are you Team Roshar or are you Team Scadrial? As of the Cosmere right now,
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to say, like, in Era 4, which one are you going to be for? Because we don't know, the characters from Era 3 or Era 4. So as of right now...
Or Arc 2 of the Stormlight Archives, for that matter. I know we're going to have a lot of repeat characters.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to have new ones.
Yeah. So as of right now, which is like the Lost Metal and Wind and Truth being like our stopping point for each world, which world are you voting for? Kind of thing.
Are we going to give our answers?
I feel like we kind of have a little bit already when we talked about like the future war, but we can do it right now. What would yours be?
Scadrial.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Wild. It's wild for me to say that. But I also just barely listened to the first trilogy and just like yesterday finished
Hero
of
Ages.
Ages.
So
just like right now.
I'm trying because I just barely finished re-listening to the Lost Metal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to like really keep that bias out. When I think of both worlds, I honestly think I'm more excited to read about Roshar than Scadrial. I just am.
I think I'm more excited for Arc 2 of the Stormlight Archives than I am for Era 3 of Mistborn.
Yeah.
But
Really?
Yeah. Is that not what you just said?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying as of right now, I enjoy being on Roshar more than Scadrial.
Okay.
But you got to think what Arc 3 of Mistborn is going to be.
Yeah.
Ghost Bloods.
That's true.
That is like, we have Mistborn, Wax and Wane, Ghost Bloods is going to be the next. We are going to get so much information.
We're going to get a lot of info
about Kelsier, the Ghost Blood. Like, I'm so excited for...
I want Marsh to take a much bigger role in Era 3 than he did in Era 2.
I want Marsh to, I think he deserves a rest.
Okay, but he's not going to get one because they discovered at the end of the Lost Metal how to keep him alive.
Well, yeah, but that also takes quite a bit of rare metal.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah, they'll make it work.
He will stay alive, but like, how long is he really going to stay alive?
Oh, he'll be around.
I want him to die in Arc 3.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's a hot take. I love Marsh.
Love Marsh to death.
Marsh is a great character.
Dude, I like, because I've hated Marsh.
Really?
At times. Not hated. I've hated some of the stuff he's done, obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but
in Hero of Ages, he's kind of...
hated him.
Yeah.
But, because he does. He deserves a rest.
He does. He deserves a rest, dude.
If anybody
on
deserves
this
the
one
rest.
right now. Deserves a rest.
It's Marsh.
Marsh,
It's
bro.
Marsh, dude. I really need him. I want him to go out on his terms. I don't want it to be like, oh, we're out of ATM.
Yeah.
Dead. I want it to be like he sacrifices himself to save, the twins, or like I want him to have a meaningful death. I want him to die.
Yeah.
I do. Like it's just sad. Like, he's lived 300 years so far. He was looking rough.
He was looking rough. It's sad. Do you really want to lose Marsh as like a power system? Marsh is a full ferochemist, full mistborn.
But like he's not really using his abilities for much.
Not right now. That's what I'm saying. I want to see some of that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like have him go out spectacularly on his terms.
Yeah.
Similar to, spoilers, Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, Wayne is my favorite character in the Cosmere as of right now. I loved. Well, that's a weird thing to say. But his death was so
One of
good.
the best scenes in the Cosmere.
I was at work and I cried, okay? I was on a job site and I had a tear rolling down my cheek when I was listening to it because it's so good. And I want that for Marsh. I want him to have that end.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping it comes in Era 3. I think Brandon just finished, like, maybe a week ago, the first book of, I think it's going to be of 3. But he said he's going to write all 3
Before he releases
it. So it's going to be like another at least year or 2.
Yeah. Crazy how fast this man writes books.
What's the next? So like we just got Isles of the Ember Dark. What's the next book coming out?
I think it's book 1 of Ghost Bloods.
Bro, we gotta wait so long.
It's either that or book 2 of Elantris.
Is that even? I haven't heard any news about that one.
Pretty sure. We'll have to do some research.
I'll have to look into his newsletter and see what's up. He does like weekly updates.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I need to like pay better attention to those. But yeah, dude. So you're Team Scadrial.
And your Team Roshar.
I think of right now, I think maybe after Ghost Bloods comes out, I might be Team Scadrial.
Okay. If Wayne was still alive, would that influence your decision?
Oh my gosh. I just can't imagine a world with Wayne still alive though.
Yeah.
Like, you know how we have like pre-Cassandra and post-Cassandra for Scadrial?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now it's like pre-Wayne and post-Wayne. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, Wayne kind of went out. Like, the Wayne scene was the same as like Vin and Ellen in a field.
Yeah, but so much, like, way more funny.
Yeah.
like, still cried, but I was also laughing that same chapter.
Yeah.
When Vin and Ellen go out, it's like I'm bawling on the floor.
Jake getting really vulnerable with you guys.
Yeah, hey, dude, they know. If you guys did not cry your eyes out when Vin and Ellen died, I don't trust you as a person. And if you didn't at least shed a tear for Wayne, heartless.
We're not friends.
We're not friends. Like, so sad, bro. So yeah, but as of right now, I just enjoy Roshar as a world better.
Okay.
I think I enjoy the power system a little more because it's a little more like fantasy-ish.
Okay.
And I'm I love fantasy is my genre.
Right.
I'm a little worried actually going into like later Cosmere.
I've been so worried about it
until Isles
of the Ember Dark. Yeah. Because I'm the same way. I love the fantasy. I love I'm not a sci-fi kind of person, and so I've been so worried about later Cosmere. until Isles of the Underdark, because I
Yeah.
really did enjoy it, and I think Brandon is doing a decent job at melding those two.
I think it's mostly the fact that, like, I know the Cosmere so well that I enjoyed Isles of the Underdark, because it's like, oh, it's just everything I've loved. They still have the magics, they still have all this, but they're just like putting into technology now.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I always like taking stuff that I enjoy and like seeing it adapted.
Yeah.
We're gonna have such a hard time, dude. Like, these power systems are going to get so complicated if they're not already.
Yeah.
You know, but that's okay.
Yep. So let us know in the poll or in the comments, Roshar or Scadrial.
Yeah.
And I think we're about wrapped up here.
I think that's everything we have for you guys today. Jax, where can they find us?
You guys can find us on TikTok, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to your podcast, basically.
Except Amazon.
Except Amazon.
For some reason, we're not on Amazon.
All of those pages, it's Into the Coppermind.
Yeah. And join us next time as we dive into the Coppermind. That's a wrap.